is like, you know, how to lower the level of abstraction for non-technical users, and take advantage of where people always play, like people play in chat rooms. And if we can get programmatic chatbots to do the heavy lifting, getting everybody to learn process calculus is not easy. So
yeah.
let's abstract it down, you know? And so I really was drawn to come in and say hi, see how you guys were working on this stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of been my attraction lately as well. I play with some tweet bots myself. I looked at some of the links you provided on GitHub of your neural net tweet bots.
Yeah,
very interesting. I'm not a dev anymore. I did some programming back in the 80s, but I wrote my first neural net program in about 88.
Cool.
Yeah, it was. I called it New Rule, and it was an optical recognition thing, and very primitive, but it was just a proof of concept. And then there were a lot of other programmers doing much better things than I was doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think if you know, Jim's example, a reasonable schema going, and just basically teach people, you know, the kind of codex for how you talk to the thing. What are the main keywords that you use? Then it's a lot easier to get, and certainly just as like sort of a toy test net kind of thing. We don't need to try and build stuff at production level yet. Like let's work out the details. You know, so that's where I was wondering, you know, because I've seen some really interesting stuff with, you guys familiar with a matrix?
Yes, and I saw your GitHub thing for Matrix too. The Digital Life Collective at one time was looking very seriously at Matrix, and may still be, but you know, something like what you've been doing there might be just the thing.
Right, because then
have you looked at moving?
That brought it all together for me.
Have you looked at moving?
What's it called?
Moving.
No. Let me check it out.
I know we don't have all day, but moving is Jabber based, so it's connected to Matrix.
Right.
Movim.eu, I guess, is it, and I don't know. I guess we have the no content. Huh? What did I do here? Let me get this URL. And it has apps. It has phone apps. I haven't tried them, but to me, it's almost like a Facebook replacement.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what's wrong here. Okay, and you know, so my feed here has people I've friended stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it
okay.
Whoops. You have I don't know, we have news here. which is basically my feed again, yes. Then we have communities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we can discover communities that are out there.
And does this use the like pub sub like Fediverse kind of like conventions, so that like your identity and like Mastodon and that kind of approach where it's multiple servers and you can kind of use it across different instances?
These are these are the servers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, and it's the Jabber. Okay, yeah. So this is this is exactly what I'm thinking is going to work. It's like a common approach that doesn't care what app you're using.
Right, and this provides this is like a chat system with lipstick on the pig.
Mm-hmm. So then how does it come back into the R-Chain, blockchain? Are messages getting hashed and
we don't have any connections. We're not running our own server. This R-Chain cooperative thing I tried was community was just a test.
Mm-hmm.
Got like one item on it, which is next here. No content. Post deleted. And then this is your standard chats.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
These are the people. So this is the this is the regular chat type thing. And I thought this was kind of the closest thing to what we're looking for, but maybe.
So
aware of it.
Let me show you one interesting. The biggest breakthrough I've had with this approach is actually Keybase. Have you used Keybase at all? So Keybase is because they have the Keybase file system. Let me just open mine up. And they just added in the Stellar wallet into the Keybase. So you have your PGP key manager, which is dead easy. You don't have to know how to use crypto to like set up an identity. Let me do a little screen share here. So you have your identity, which you can socially prove. So you have, this is me, and I've proven that it's me on my Twitter, by posting a hashed message with my PGP key. So like, if you know me on Twitter, let's say we wanted to do like something with a community, like in terms of airdrops and sending to a trusted identity, I can send you Stellar from inside the Stellar wallet here by just knowing your Twitter name and using like the command line or the chat bot or a chat room. You can send to like, at Jonny Debrowski. And of course, the person will have to set up a Keybase account, to like prove that they have the Twitter address. But in terms of like usability, when you have the ability you can form these teams and sub teams, and inside of the team, so like, I've made all of these different teams, and inside the team, you have the file system for that team. So I can open up, even just in my Finder, like I have the Keybase file system for that chat room. So in terms of doing things like DAOs and DACs and running the rules of the conversation space, you can put the smart contracts for your chat room at the base of the conversation space and have scripts and the chatbot code. And then the other thing that Keybase has that I have not seen in any other platform is because you can set up multi layers to the team. You have like sub teams, right? So I can create the same team can have different levels of permission. And so we could have a conversation going on where we have devs that have a sub team, and they're able to access like all the content of the conversations, and they're able to run the code of the chatbot. So they can make updates and kind of act like the customer support for the chat room. And the permission controls run like in different levels of depth. So, you know, you can grant them access, but they might not. Or you can have like, if you want somebody to do something or stake some funds before they get a certain level of access, you can set the level of access controls. And then Keybase has integrated the chatbot where, you know, they already have a whole chatbot ecosystem. Here's the CR bot public. But the one thing that it's missing is their chatbot ecosystem isn't that mature. You know, like the stuff with discourse and, you know, the stuff with, you know, the blog post that you had, I'm not sure that Keybase's chatbot ecosystem is up for the task yet, and I'm not good enough of a developer to know. but they have so much other stuff that I think it's definitely worth you checking out because.
Yeah, I haven't, you know, it's been a few years actually since I've really been active on it.
So you also have like you can have a private Git where every commit is signed, you know, so you have the ability to really enforce like a lot of control on what the chatbot's able to do, who is able to program it. And then with the Stellar integration, it just makes it so easy to send currency back and forth. And I think that there's got to be some ways to tie that to our chain, you know?
I thought Keybase was on Bitcoin.
It is, but they run a Stellar. Stellar is basically their like main financial sponsor. Stellar gave them like, I think $20 million and they've brought Stellar in as the token that they're using. They hash all the messages and all of the activities to the blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain, like on a daily basis. But they've chosen Stellar as like their smart contract environment, and the actual token that you use is Stellar. And, you know, there's a number of reasons why they chose that. But from what I've seen so far, it's a very interoperable platform. So like connecting, because none of these tools are anywhere near as good as our chain for dealing with like, you know, separating out the smart contract logic and like dealing with the semantic complexities and like the language of all of this. So I'm just scratching the surface of how to connect all of these different tools. Keybase is the best, I think, because like, look, we have all of these tools and us geeks know how valuable they are, but every smart contract platform that's using Ethereum to try and demonstrate, you know, consumer value, they're handcuffed. Anytime you're asking a user to click 6, you know, approvals and to use MetaMask in browser to get started on anything, like this is terrible for adoption. And what Keybase does is you don't even need, like you could participate in like join a Keybase team and basically participate in a DAO and like vote on stuff with the TCR, and you could earn tokens, and you don't even have to set up your wallet until you've been proven that this is worth your time. So like somebody airdrops you money or you participate in some survey or whatever, until you actually have like, you know, maybe $10 or $20, then you can go and set up your wallet. But the other thing is like, let's say we had some campaign going and I sent you, you know, $25 and you don't claim it and you never participate. I don't lose the money. That money can be refunded back to my Stellar wallet. So I only, lose the money if you actually go through and sign up. So it changes the adoption path, and I think lowers the bar of entry, because you can just write to somebody on Twitter and say, hey, here's $10, or, do this and that. And, and only once they participate do you actually like lose and, transact the funds. So that's pretty significant, I think.
Okay, I just tried to follow you, but apparently I'm out of date. It says in the browser, unavailable to you, command line with keybase.
I would download the client. Phone client and the desktop client. And, where it really gets, there's so much to it that we can't just get into today. But like the device registration, let me go back to a screen share. You can turn on and off keys and register devices. And like the lost password thing, they've dealt with really well. You can make paper keys and revoke them. And then you have this awesome, let me find me. You can see the branching of all of your devices and all the activities that you've done in a graph. Let's go to the app here. So, where is it? Let me see. Here it should be. So you can see everything that I've done, all of the chain links, the claiming of my GitHub account. You can see the message that I posted on GitHub and all of the hashes linking back to the Bitcoin blockchain. So the provability of all of this stuff is right in the browser. You can follow back all of the claims, all of the registration of keys. And, it's most people don't care about this stuff. And they've done a really good job of separating this like in front of the curtain and behind the curtain. But you can look at the provenance of all of the transactions that have happened, all the devices that are linked. And when you're planning like a chatbot integration or connections between blockchains, this kind of graph database view is pretty awesome. Like I found it really valuable because you can just, it saves so much time. Like I think like you guys are, what I've remember from days past is like, we don't have to think, we can just play around and experiment and think about what is the outcome we want to get. And then string together a plan. Okay, well, we're going to connect, this R-chain contract to this through this chatbot, and we can use like really sort of graph or object-oriented kind of view of what type of projects we're going to do, and then like fill in the details. And instead of having to map out the specs, we can just play around by making each of these into like giving each of these a keybase address and linking together the different, accounts. It's pretty cool. There's a lot to it.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Initially, they had a web interface, and then they took away the web interface and had to use a command line interface. And now, because I'm using the command line interface, I have to.
I think you might just have to update the command line interface. And you can still sign and verify messages in the browser. But where they've really like just gone a light year ahead is it's become a Slack alternative, which is why, it's useful in this chatbot conversation in so many ways, because on my Android phone, I have the Keybase app, you know, and I've switched over from Telegram with like my team. We're having conversations. Oh, and there's another really awesome feature, which we've been using in the medical use cases, which is exploding messages. So you can send somebody some info and say, I want this message to disappear in 3 days or like 20 minutes. And it self-deletes the message. And every team that you create has a URL. So it's like, you know, it's content addressable. And if you want to send somebody a file and you know their Twitter address, you can send it to their Twitter handle. They'll have to sign up for Keybase, but they'll have waiting for them a signed file from you. And you can do all of this from the desktop client and the Android and the iPhone client. So it's like, it basically brings in the complexity of signing transactions with your PGP key, which is what like Viewport and all of these identity apps have been trying to do. But all of these identity platforms, you have this signing app, which doesn't do anything else, you know? And this brings everything under one roof. So you have a file system, you have a chat room, and you have a wallet, and you have the ability to sign things, and then you have permission controls for bringing in different people to the chat room who can access the file system. So it's like almost an entire operating system. And I think it's really underrated at the moment in the space, you know, and, you know, everything that I've seen, like with the way that their schema and the JSON, like the way that you write the metadata for these transactions is totally interoperable, you know, with other apps. So I would be interested in playing around with like the discourse server that you guys are working on to see if we could make a Keybase chatbot that kind of does the same thing that your discourse chatbot's doing. Would that sound like a good like project to throw our our hats at?
Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive. It seems like there's a lot to learn there, and I guess there is some. It is a hurdle for people to join Keybase, which I guess they've lowered that hurdle a lot. But it's,
totally.
That still could be a bit of a stumbling block.
Where are you going with the chatbot? Maybe that would help me also, just like, what's your vision for it?
I do want to make it chat system independent. I have a number of things listed in the future at the end of the article, but I mean, ideally, we would have a development environment that was graphical and highlighted your syntax errors and everything on the fly. But
using the Rolang?
Well, macro lang. Rolang enhanced with macros.
Macrolang, cool.
I'm really interested, to some extent, where it goes depends on the engagement of people to do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm retired. I just do, Uh, I'm using it to support, I guess, governance in our
Yeah.
with the voting app. I don't know what app will be next, but I'm building the model of how we share capabilities and stuff on our chain.
Yeah.
Okay, now Keybase does a lot of this stuff already. But what you were talking about was the possibility of doing some bot programming in macrolang that interfaces to Keybase or some of these other systems.
Right. And I see, I understand that, at some point, like I see Keybase as a great bridge, like a transitional bridge to help get more people into the benefits of and DAOs and DAX and TCR. They're such cool things to play with, but the barrier to entry is so huge that, I found through workshops and stuff that it's just really almost impossible to get non-technical people to play around with these things. And for me, Keybase checked all of the boxes, but I would, with every, I'm working with a couple of different blockchain projects, and with each one, it's sort of the same deal, that the roadmap would be to develop stuff so that we wouldn't need Keybase. Like eventually our chain should have its own, the same qualities of a supported file system where you can sign files, and like the roadmap for our chain will ultimately get to a place where all these things are easy to do. But until that point, I would see, because Keybase has this nice anti-rivalrous sort of approach, they're not trying everything or be the only of anything. So using it as sort of like training wheels, because I found that it actually works to sit some non-technical people down and get them playing and participating in things like voting and incentivized activities like tagging stuff and like rewarded for participation and things like that. All of the, Colony and all of the platforms that do that, they're really hard to use. And so this could be a good bridge. And it seems like the chatbot is the the ambassador between the realms,
Yeah. I'm just looking up bot stuff for Keybase.
And I'll put together my ideas into a little executive summary. So and that way next week we could poke at a couple of actual figure out maybe one small little thing that we could play around with together. Yeah, their bot world has just been born. It's just coming online, and their documentation's all over the place. And so I've just been grabbing what I can find, and it's early days, but from what I've seen, one of the main things it can do right now, which is super profound, is automatically send money for activities, and you can have a bot sitting in a conversation waiting for keywords and then performing actions. And if we can extend those types of actions to then trigger a discourse bot, that's actually, because there's nothing with smart contracts inside of the Keybase world, So having some cross-platform thing with Siphon or Matrix, I don't know yet. I just, but I know that we can probably get there with a really janky proof of concept and see if that actually delivers any value,
Yep. Um, so the keybase chatbot does sends, it doesn't seem to do receives. Oh, chat reads messages in the channel. With or without marking as read. Watch all channels for new messages. Interesting. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how to fit this in. I guess I have to refamiliarize myself with Keybase and get up to date.
Yeah, and you know, I'm going to take the weekend and I'll try and make that process a lot easier for you by just kind of giving you a few pointed like exclamations. This is what I think we could do. Here's where I see the tech providing some value, and then you know that way you know. I mean, if you think it's cool and want to spend more time than that, great. But I don't want you to have to do too much. On your end, I can like sum things up for you. I think.
Well,
pretty well.
proof of concept would simply be to listen to a Keybase channel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, send the stuff on Discord.
Yep.
And forward whatever comes on Discord channel to Keybase.
Exactly.
Okay, and
then you're extending Keybase to be able to mess with smart contracts.
Right. I mean, it's not particularly secure, although we could create
you can create
a private server where this happens that would be relatively secure.
And you can create a new Keybase identity that has its own like paper key and its own new PGP key pair and anchor that to the server and then revoke it, you know?
I think we're going to have to do that in order to do a chatbot.
Yep. And you can make it a multi-auth key pair that with the permission controls of the like team feature in Keybase, you could have, you know, 4 admins and a server that'll have access to that. You know?
Yeah, and I guess what I suggest is choose an app and guide a weekly work study.
Yeah.
Where we work on it and hopefully engage some other people in the work study.
It's a great idea.
The work is the play is the learning.
Yes, I like it.
I'll support it, Johnny.
Great, thanks,
I'm
Gary.
really excited about it.
Cool. All right, well, I'll put some stuff together and check in with you guys next week, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, and Adi, did you want to say hello? Are you still there?
Yeah, still around.
Why don't you turn your camera on for a second? This connection.
Oh.
Zealand is
Hi.
It can be a little flaky, so.
Yeah, so it happens when you're on the other side of the world.
Where are you at?
New Zealand.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so something a little bit different.
So Adi attends the 2 o'clock work studies Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, or he has been, and we've been working on getting the Digital Life portal set up.
Cool.
In staging. The major effort there is the social ledger, which we plan to put on our chain. And while security and privacy are mostly on our to-do list, we're demonstrating some very cool stuff. Integrating the social ledger and the portal with your stuff would be really cool. Also.
Absolutely. Yeah, I checked out DigiLife. It looks really awesome. I'm gonna dive into it this weekend as well.
I don't know if you have time to any time to get together over the weekend. Maybe we can. I can give you a little tour of stuff, so we can save time on Monday. Although I'm sure Joachim would be willing to introduce you to some of the stuff. But,
cool. I think Monday would be best, and I do have time. Yeah, this is awesome. I'm excited to
join early on Monday, and then I can just show you some stuff first.
That sounds great. Awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate your time, and it was great to see you again and to meet the rest of you.
Thank you for joining us, Johnny, and I really enjoyed what I saw here today, and I listened to everything that was being said, but I was actively setting up my account on Keybase while the talking was going on, so it looks good.
Oh, great. Well, follow me and ping me your name, and I'll follow you back, and yeah, we'll keep it rocking.
Great.
Awesome, guys. Well, I'll talk to you in a few.
Later.
Be well.
Bye.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
So, did he say what is he going to join on Monday, Jim? Is this something that I can attend or not?
Oh yeah, it's the Big Life Monday.
11 o'clock or 12 o'clock Eastern?
12 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're going to try to start early and show them some of the social ledger stuff.
Cool. Is he a member of Dig Life or?
Not yet, no.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm hoping he'll join, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
You know, he likes what he sees, so I don't know why he wouldn't join.
Oh, yeah.
And well, you have to get Adi to join Dig Life also.
Yeah. I mean, he might as well. It sounds like he's doing a lot of the work over there now.
Yeah. But where is the log here? Let's see if we can see it. I mean the protocol. This is
Oh, he's up there in New York City with Joachim.
All right.
Oh, yeah, huh. Okay, I put it in the in the notes, but I'll put it in the chat also. This is the protocol doc. Can you guys see if you can access that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. It loaded.
Okay, there's a pencil, or there's a middle thing that'll show you a split screen of the
Yeah.
markdown.
Yeah.
So let's say without you actually modifying it, why don't you type a couple of blanks at the end of one line, Adi, and then backspace, so you don't change it yet, unless you have a change to make, just to find out if you can edit it.
Okay.
Of course, you have to edit it on the markdown side.
Yeah.
It works for me.
You can write to it also?
Yeah, I can write.
Yeah,
You may be you're probably logged in, Gary, huh?
Yeah. I logged in from DigLife, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm logged in. Just two online. Guest Wells, Guest Castellini. So I'm assuming that's you two.
I'm not. No.
Huh? No,
We
it's
should
not.
I may not be logged. I may not have it open at all here. Actually, let me open it.
It shows that I can edit it, and it appears up in the right screen.
All right. Well, if you're logged into DigLife, you probably can.
Okay, I am logged into DigLife.
And actually, it shows 3 people online, but 2 of them are guests. Interesting.
Huh. I'll have to try this over on DigLife and see what it says.
Should be the same. And I typed 2 spaces and it shows 2 dots.
Type it between the period and the S. That's what I did, and it worked.
Yeah. So I don't know what, I did mention that Adi would need permissions to edit this.
Sounds like he just needs to join DigLife.
So you can hack in here, Adi, if you want to make a comment. You know, just you know, add it as a separate paragraph or whatever. But you didn't happen to get a chance to try that, Adi?
I did. It is loading in Code Sandbox. but I can't remember what didn't load previously.
We never tried it before. What do you mean it loaded? Does it run?
Yeah, like it runs quite happily.
So if Joachim uses our code, we won't have to update.
Oh, right. I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. No, that should run fine, I'd say. All it did was, it didn't really do a lot, did it? Hang on 1 second. If I go to, oh, it's open. There's one thing I wanted to check whether it made a modification to the package, Jace. No, it hasn't. So he could literally just use our code, and it should be fine. The only thing is, I had to remove bundle from the online version because it was too large. So Code Sandbox won't do anything more than 5 megabytes.
I thought we removed bundle. Didn't we remove that already?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we didn't push the update or something. I don't know. So I just removed it manually, and it runs fine. The link's in the log. We're just trying to figure out what we're missing to build these files, though.
What do you mean? You said it worked.
Oh, on that, no, I mean on the actual production side, what we're missing to build this stuff.
Well, he made Joachim made a fix.
Okay, what fix was it?
He knows why we were having trouble, at least with the notepad.
Okay.
The button's not working?
Yeah.
Right. Well, he made a fix that supposedly fixed that.
Oh. That's good.
Now, I guess the thing is we want to coordinate with him. I mean, we may have to do one more merge, right? His latest fix. But we don't want to have to do another, so we want to coordinate it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me copy the link. Where's the link?
Are you going to meet at next hour, Jim? You got anything scheduled next hour?
For 4 o'clock, there's a scheduled work study. I don't know if anybody's going to come. It's Rolang. Okay. If you can come back, we can do some Rolang.
Okay, I'll be back at 4 o'clock your time.
Awesome.
All right, thanks. See you, Audie.
See you, Gary.
So, oh.
What's happened?
It occurred to me that he can just make the updates in Code Sandbox.
He can?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, I think minor
is that right to GitHub Files?
And is Joachim was Joachim in the directory?
Let's see, it says. Let's see, it says.
So let's see, one more update. So I want to check if he's in the repository. He's
All right.
um, 3 contributors. Okay, well, he contributed. Where's the members again? It's under settings, right? No. Collaborators. He's not a collaborator.
Oh, okay.
How do you spell it? S-C-E-N?
E-E-N.
There he is. Push. Um, okay, so we'll see what he says. Otherwise, on Monday, we'll take his latest code,
Yeah.
merge it, commit it, push it, and do a pull request back to.
Sweet. I'll merge the pull requests.
I think we already did it. We did a pull request on the Linux branch. We didn't do a pull request on this branch.
All right.
But we're gonna eliminate the Linux branch. As long as it runs on code base, we don't need to separate it.
Yeah, we can keep it all together.
Awesome. So,
I think I'm getting closer to getting these built.
I'm
So
sorry.
I think I'm getting closer to getting this production version built. From what I've figured out, it's not passing CSS. Oops, wrong window. So it's just getting it to, well, reconfiguring the Webpack config.js. But I can't figure out where the error is. But it all looks like CSS stuff that it's not really happy with. So I'll keep working on that and see where I end up.
Oh, that's such good news, Arnie.
What is?
That it runs in Code Sandbox. Joachim can continue to develop in Code Sandbox.
Yeah.
We can automate the updates to stage production.
Yeah.
I mean, if it runs in staging, if it builds and runs in staging without error, we can automatically update production and have continuous, basically monitor for changes to GitHub. So, like, every 10 minutes we can check to see if there's an update on GitHub.
Yeah.
Of the branch, and probably should be a separate step to update the production branch from master or wherever. So that when something goes to production, we know we want to update production.
Yeah.
If the build succeeds in staging. Okay. So I'm going to take a break.
Fair enough.
You want to stay online?
I'll probably head off for today, I think, and just continue a little bit of work before going to work.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking if you wanted to keep the line open in case you had any questions or anything.
No, it should be okay. Should be able to probably deal with this Monday if I make any headway.
All right, Guy. Thank you so much.
That's all right.
We still have. I still didn't ping Ojimoto about the payments.
Oh, right.
What's that file called again? Rewards? R-Chain decentralized budgeting and reward system. What the hell? I can't find the damn spreadsheet.
Oh, do you want me to link it to you?
What's the title, dude? Of CoLab? There it is.
CoLab bounty payoff decision matrix.
Okay. Payoff. I have to remember. Yeah. I look for even CoLab, I might find it. Okay, so we look at January rewards. And I'm going to copy that to, oops. Excuse me. January rewards. Duplicate. I guess I choose. Now I made a copy of January rewards. We rename it. And we call it Feb rewards. I don't know if I should probably share my screen just for transparency's sake. What we do with payment should be transparent. Now I'm going to take this. Well, I'm going to take this whole thing. The whole thing. And I'm going to data tools, protect sheet. I already put, oh, cancel. I'm in the wrong sheet here. Actually, what I want to do is I want to clear all this in February. And I want to spell February, not FRM, FRB, Feb. Okay, that's the February sheet. And the January sheet is where I want to lock all this. Tools, text sheet, editor, description. I'll just put in freeze. Range sheet, I'll hit range, and that's permissions. Okay, I wanted to phrase, restrict who can edit this page. Who can edit. So, okay, so that the rewards are frozen
Sweet.
for January, and now we just have to say ask what happened.
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh,
Oh, okay, scroll down. You did that.
Scared the daylights out of myself there. Hey, Jeffrey.
Did you read up on that device that I sent you the information on?
Yeah, I did. I ordered one.
Isn't that, yeah, I saw that. I wasn't sure how much you researched it before you ordered it. How much was it?
It was, gee, I don't remember. I think it was like $240 or something. The $249. Yeah, I looked at a few of them. And wasn't sure which was the better one to get, but I figured.
Well, I think that's the main brand. And for example, when I was buying a breast pump back in the day,
Yeah.
I researched and figured out that the price difference between the best one was big enough to give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I'm 100% sure that the one that I had bought was far better than the one that cost like $50 less.
Yeah. Well, there was one that looked pretty comparable at $100 less, but I couldn't get enough information on it to know if it was better or worse. So I figured.
Yeah, it's hard to know, but with the I guess it's easier when you're buying a breast pump because there's like a million forums on pregnancy and stuff like that. So there's just there's almost an unlimited amount of information out there.
Yeah.
These are pretty. It's pretty here today. Everything's covered in snow.
Yeah.
The mountains are like in the clouds, but the clouds just skirt the metal and the peaks stick above it. Looks really cool.
All right, we're done with the payments. I'm going to stop the recording now.